maybe hasn't picked up.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Rob St. John.
And Lauren Fitch.
So I post videos, live streams, and whatnot of tabletop gaming, mainly Game of Thrones, the card game, second edition lately. So we have a live streaming from our local meta there. It's called Rob's Gaming Table right now on YouTube. So you can go search that, subscribe over there, and catch videos on there where I also commentate like this.
Okay. I'll get right on it.
Well, I'm being told by my wife they can't hear Roy at all, just you and Lauren.
Hear me now. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now, chat? See, this is why I'm glad we started this before.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we always have to do this. It's always sound glitches.
Of course. All right. Alex can hear me now. Yep. Okay. Well, all right. Well, we'll start this over again. I, again, am Roy Rogers. I play out of New York. You may have heard me a couple of times on the White Book podcast. And we're here to do the octgn King of Swiss game. Both players, DC Dennis, who lives out in DC, is playing the White Book podcast's Aaron Glazer. They're both undefeated at the moment. And with me to comment on this match is
Rob St. John.
And Lauren Fitch.
And Lauren's the organizer of the octgn tournament, and Rob regularly streams some really excellent Thrones content onto... You just do YouTube these days, right, Rob?
Yeah, I mainly figured since all my subscribers were there watching my videos pre-recorded, I figured I'd just live stream there so that they'd all get notifications. Just go to one place for all my content.
All right. I'm going to just tell you both to turn your microphones up a little bit, and we're going to switch over to the game, though, because Aaron and Dennis have decided to start.
Oh, they're starting.
They've decided to start. All right. So they're setting up
Okay.
right now.
Dennis is getting a typical Greyjoy setup of 6 cards.
And Aaron is,
Looks
well,
like Aaron's still going.
and Aaron,
Wow.
okay, so Aaron is playing Lannister Stark, while Dennis is playing Greyjoy Fealty, and both have really, really excellent setups, although Dennis's is weak on characters.
Yeah, I would say it's weak overall. I mean, putting the little bird on the Lord Sport shipwright is really just so that he can get an extra card in the drawback, but it's not doing anything for his board position.
It's true, but he's going to draw, what, 6 cards?
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. So at least he'll be in a position to sort of come back from not having a very good setup. Aaron, on the other hand, has a kind of unbelievable setup of the Hound and a duped Arya, which is, I think, the unbelievable part of this, to me at least, and the Steward. So out of the bat, I would say Aaron is in a stronger position, but you never know. I mean, with Fealty and the economy that Dennis was able to set up, he can easily catch up.
That's true.
Lauren is the organizer. Chad's asking who Lauren is. Lauren, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I organized the octgn tournament, for which we're currently watching the King of Swiss match. I also do quite a bit of organizing in Boston for our group, although there's a lot of new groups that are starting in areas of Massachusetts and New Hampshire outside of Boston. And then I also write an article series called The White Harbor Times, which is posted on thewhitebookpodcast.com every other week.
Okay. All right. Can people hear Lauren and Rob better now? Let me know in chat. I've turned up the overall volume.
Oh yeah, I see them posting that right now. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I'm up all the way, so I don't know.
I increased the volume on my end, and while it's showing the levels are good. Otherwise, yes.
Okay.
I'll turn it up a little bit more again, just in case.
Yeah, it's tough because you'll hear us perfect in your ears, but then based on how OBS or whatever software you're using decides to mix those levels is a whole story.
Yep.
I mean, the levels are showing good on OBS, so we'll still see. I'm trying to improve it. Again, I apologize for any technical difficulties. Oh, and of course, octgn has decided to crap out a little bit. Hey, which will give us time to figure things out.
Mm-hmm.
And see, now it's... all right, let's see.
Yeah, I'm currently kicked out of the octgn game, so we'll have to see if it lets everyone back in. Oh, I'm back in.
Yeah, it's good for me too.
It's back. All right.
Hooray.
All right, here we go. We're back. All right. So, are the levels better? I can turn myself down a little bit. Yes, I can do that. No problem, chat. Let's try there. Okay. How is that? I currently have Lauren and Rob turned all the way up as possible, and myself turned down.
So Aaron's saying it's sounding better.
Excellent. How about me? Can you guys hear me? Do I still sound like I'm down the hall?
I have turned myself down to 50% of where I was before. So, there we go. All right, they're flipping plots. It's pretty unsurprising. Calm over Westeros is been flipped by Aaron, and Dennis has flipped Noble Cause. So what do you think about both of these openings? How about you, Lauren?
Well, I find it a little bit odd that Aaron named military claim with Calm over Westeros when Dennis has the Seastone chair on the table, which, if he chooses to use it for military claim, what Aaron has selected with Calm is going to have no effect. As far as the plots that they've selected, I think that they seem pretty reasonable for the decks that they're running.
And Aaron has used Calm over Westeros, which reduces a claim of your choice down by 1, and he chose military claim.
Yes. Right, but if Dennis chooses to use the Seastone chair, or if he's able to use the Seastone chair, that will have no effect.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
He'll just be replacing claim at that point and picking his target anyway, and someone will hit the dead pile.
Yep.
And so, did he use the reduction on Noble Cause? Sorry, Dennis used it on Theon?
And now he's using a King's Road to bring out a Drowned Man.
Oh, and so he's got 2 warships on the table, so that Drowned Man is already up to a 5 strength.
Which is pretty impressive. So, and he's capable of using the shipwright to kneel any economic reducers that Aaron plays this turn, which may help him slow Aaron down a little bit and give him some time to catch up. Oh, he's got 2 now, so that puts him in an even better position.
So is Dennis then going to... He can kneel a King's Road if it's played too, right?
Correct. And that I think is really going to be Dennis's saving grace here, because he's going to be able to put a lot of pressure on Aaron's location base. I mean, sadly, Lannister doesn't have a huge number of great locations that kneel besides economy ones, but it will still be able to slow Aaron down a little bit, which may keep some of the pressure off and allow him to catch up a little bit. But Arya is going to make it very hard for Aaron to not, for Dennis to get any unopposed challenges, which is going to be awkward for him.
Yes.
All right, it's now over to Aaron's marshalling. Let's see what our friendly Lannister player has.
Yeah, so even without any reducers, he's sitting on 6 gold, which isn't too bad. He should be able to do something quite good with that.
So if anyone in octagon designers are listening, it would be really nice if spectators could see the hands of the players. Because if we click on it, like I just did, we'll just show how many cards are in Aaron's hand, which will probably be useful for viewers. So I'm gonna keep that on Aaron right now.
Yeah, or if
Oh,
there was
here's the Rose Road.
Oh. Yep,
Which,
there you go.
which Dennis knelt quite wisely.
Called it.
Yep. I mean, I really think the real threat that Aaron has to worry about is that double intrigue icon shipwright that is sitting there. You know,
Very dangerous.
yes, protecting from confinement, just in case. You know, Aaron is illegally playing Martell cards out of his Lannister Stark deck.
He might. You never know.
It's true. Aaron is a notoriously known for his cheating. So,
and that's the real reason why we're here and watching right now, is to kind of catch that stuff. So
yeah.
Right.
We'll
I'm just
judge.
supervising as the TO to make sure there's no shit.
Exactly.
Well, it seems like kneeling that King's Road, even though he had to know it was coming, has kind of flummoxed Aaron a little bit. He hasn't made a move since that happened.
Yeah, maybe he was just hoping Dennis would forget that, which happens all the time, to kneel the King's Road. Particularly, you know, I mean, one of the advantages of playing on Octagon is you can sort of see someone play a card like the King's Road, which, you know, that action just comes so naturally to people. It's sometimes you forget, you know, just in the normal speed of a game to kneel that location. So I think that's one of the nice things about playing online.
Yep.
Okay, so Aaron's spending all of his gold, all 5 of it, on something, but he has not put on the table yet, so we can't really tell you. Oh, Tyrion!
Tyrion.
All right, so that I definitely feel like Aaron is a little choked out here. I mean, Tyrion is good, obviously, but it doesn't feel like it's going to keep Aaron as ahead as he was on the setup, which is really quite excellent for Dennis.
It's true, although presumably he should be able to ambush in a character with 2 gold that he's going to get from Tyrion's response.
It's true.
Plus, he has the opportunity to already start the Hound bounce in the round if an intrigue is initiated by Dennis.
All right. Dennis is doing he did not say which type of challenge he's doing.
It's a military challenge.
It's a military challenge? Okay.
Yes.
And he's defending, and Aaron defended with Arya.
Yep.
And no claim due to
And no claim.
Yep.
So, okay. Well, the question I have is, I'm not sure if Aaron is running the Neil module, the ambush module out of his Lannister Stark deck. You know.
I'm looking at the deck list right now, actually. I can answer that question for you. And I don't see. No, he's not. He's not. The only ambush he has that I see is the Hound. And that's it.
When the Hound is a great card, but luckily for Dennis right now, Aaron doesn't have the resources to bounce to return the Hound into play if he uses him in a challenge and wins, of course. All right, so Aaron claimed his 2 gold from Tyrion's response to Dennis's intrigue challenge with the Lord's Port shipwright. But the question is Aaron going to defend with Tyrion, or is he going to try to push all 3 challenges through when it's his turn?
And Aaron is ahead on cards, it looks, by 1. So, I mean, he loses 1 now, puts him at even, and then he would hit back. In theory, hit Dennis' hand again and kind of keep it at the same amount of cards. So
that's true. And
wouldn't be too bad.
And Aaron may want to let this intrigue challenge go through, depending on what's in his hand, so that he can have some power to steal from Dennis, say, with that standing reducer chud that he has.
This is true.
Mm-hmm.
If only we could see his hand to know if it was something he's worried about or not.
Curse you, Octagon. Curse you. All right, let's take a look at see how many cards Dennis has in hand. All right. Dennis has only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards in hand to Aaron's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards.
Yeah, and interesting there, Aaron decided to block the challenge and win on defense, but it means that he's not able to make an intrigue challenge, which costs him 2 gold and the benefit of getting a card out of Dennis's hand. So apparently Aaron really liked what he had in his hand and didn't want to lose it.
Yep.
All right. Dennis is done. Aaron just did a power challenge with the Chud, which Dennis proceeded to block with his quite large army. I wonder if Dennis has a Risen in his hand, which is why he's so willing to eat this military challenge, or does he want to Does he want to kill the shipwright to get that little bird back in his hand, which I think is what he wanted to do. Ooh, and Aaron just put to the sword Dennis's Theon. I'm assuming, unless Dennis has some cancel. But Dennis doesn't have any gold, so it looks like this put to the sword is going to go through.
Ouch.
Ouch indeed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, very well played on Aaron's part. Oh, but the Risen comes out, and there we go. Dennis was playing for contingency there. He wisely held back his Risen just in case of that situation. And Aaron has to return the Hound, or doesn't have to. He chooses to return the Hound instead of randomly discarding a card from his hand.
Yeah,
Right.
and if he was willing to defend that intrigue to protect his hand, he's willing to do it for the Hound also and just return him in there.
Mm-hmm. And he also gets Widow's Wail back as well, which you could argue that it has more value in the hand than sitting on a character in the board because you get that surprise value of ambushing it into play.
But now he does have to get rid of a card for reserve, though, right? Because he is one over. So, but at least he gets to make that choice, I guess.
Yep.
All right, so
Oh, did he miss that part?
Aaron.
See if they're
T.O.
gonna forget or not.
Oh,
Yeah,
Dennis
no,
remembered.
Dennis got it.
Dennis got it. Okay. Aaron says, I'm aware, in his typical Aaron way. Whenever Aaron feels rushed by other people when playing games, he gets testy, I think is the polite word that my mother would appreciate. All right, well, let's look at the situation at the end of the first plot. I'd say, actually, this was a pretty good turn for Dennis. I think they're at some relative parity, maybe. I mean, Aaron's characters are overall more impactful, but Dennis, I think, was at least able to stabilize. What do you guys think? And
Yeah, I'd agree. I think their boards are in fairly similar state. I think that Aaron's really going to want to try to win initiative and go first this turn if he has any big characters in his hand, so that he can use that King's Road.
Well, Dennis flipped summons to go fetch a character, which tells me I think maybe Dennis's hand isn't exactly where he wants it. And Aaron played Noble Cause, which of course reduces the first Lord or Lady character you play that round by 2. So, who wants to place bets on whether or not Aaron has Tywin in his hand?
I'm going to say yes, because he can play it even without the King's Road. Oh, and so he actually does win initiative because of having the King's Road on the table.
So maybe that's why he was willing to play the King's Road into the Lord's Port shipwright.
Right. And then he also just made himself first player, so he's going to use that King's Road as well.
All right, so he really wants to flood the board a little bit, I think. He because with the King's Road, he can put Tywin and something else.
He also does play Eddard in his deck, too. So it could be an Eddard, could be even
Jaime
Jaime
Aaron
Lannister.
is skipping ahead here, so Aaron is counting his gold, whereas Dennis has not even done his summons yet.
So Aaron is rushing, and Dennis went for Balon.
Not a surprise.
Not a surprise at all.
He was able to find it.
And let's switch over to Aaron's hand, so people can see. Aaron's hand is quite full. All right. Okay. So Aaron's already counted gold. Dennis is drawn. So, is Balon going to be able to stand up against Tywin? Should Aaron play Tywin? Will Balon give Dennis the edge he needs? What do you guys think?
Well, Aaron's going first, so in order for him to use Tywin to defend against Balon, he would have to either have some stand, or there's Tywin.
There's
or
Tywin.
Tywin stand.
Oh, duped Tywin.
For defending.
What I also find is effective against the Balon stealth, unopposed, that kind of business, and the whole Sea Stone chair is he has the Hound, right? So if he saves some money for the Hound, you can always bounce him in after the stealth window and use him to defend. And since he's pretty big, he can sometimes outpower Balon. But with that Iron Fleet Scout out, I don't know.
Yeah, and actually, he's got the Great Freaking out as well, which means that Balon's going to have stealth. So Tywin's actually not going to be able to defend Balon at all. So he might as well use Tywin to attack and try to get the advantage on Dennis to start with.
To put the pressure. I mean, the question is, what does Aaron want to spend that 4 gold? Does he want to use it as a strength bump? It looks like he is going to use it for the Hound and as a strength bump, because following Rob's line of play, he can use Tywin to attack or Tywin to do whatever, and with the 4 gold after the stealth window, he can make sure he wins the challenge he wants to win. All right, so we're now on to Dennis's, and I'll move over to Dennis's hand for everyone. Take a look at the number of cards in his hand. All right. So, Rob, do you think Dennis is going to play Balon into this board, or do you think he's going to try to see if he has any other plays in his hand?
I think he has to. I don't know what the other economy is on his plot line either, right? He's already played a noble cause, and he, sometimes you don't get the chance later to play a character if you don't see your economy. So, but I'm not sure if it's the right play, like you're saying. But I don't know what else he's got, but he was digging for a character, so it might be his only play.
What do you think, Lauren? Do you think Balon is what Dennis needs here, or would he have preferred to draw someone else? Ooh, now that King's Road is going to make life a lot nicer.
There you go.
Yeah, so now he'll be able to hopefully put out 2 characters, which should help.
All right, so Balon comes out with the King's Road and his gold. Interestingly, Dennis did not use fealty to reduce the cost of Balon, who is loyal, thankfully. Otherwise, Greyjoy would be a true NPE experience. And a little bird on Theon. Okay.
Interesting.
Yes, very interesting. Very, very interesting. And Dennis is done. I wonder if Dennis forgot about fealty, which I know in my play experience, because I'm terrible, happens all the time and is probably one of the drawbacks. What's supposed to be a benefit for the agenda, which is the economy acceleration on loyal cards, ends up being a drawback because I often forget about it.
Right. Well, it could be that he's expecting to be able to trigger Sea Stone Chair, in which case he would need to have his faction cards standing.
That's true. That's true. But the question is he going to be able to trigger the Sea Stone Chair?
To get it unopposed?
I don't think with the Hound hiding in his hand right now, it's going to happen.
And second player...
Yeah,
and as second player, he can't use Kraken's Grasp if he's got that in his hand. So
right.
And the Iron Fleet Scout's only going to get him +1, right, to make Balon a 6. So that will tie the Hound.
All right.
Plus he has Widow's Wail as an option on top of the Hound.
All right, so Tyrion has attacked with a intrigue challenge and stealthed the shipwright. So Aaron gets his 2 gold, and let's see what Dennis is going to do here. Defends with Theon and pumps.
Interesting.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting. And
Dennis likes his hand, apparently.
He definitely likes his hand. And for those of us who sometimes forget, Risen also gives a +1 strength bonus. So Theon is 4 strength base right now and 5 with the Scout's pump. But he could, of course, yes, as Chad has said, Aaron does decide to put Widow's Wail, which Chad called.
Yep. Yeah, I think whenever somebody puts that much effort into defending an intrigue challenge, if you have any way to push it through, I think it's the right move.
And Dennis lost, I believe, Damp Hair?
Oh, look at this!
Oh!
Oh, yeah. That was risky, putting the little bird on Theon instead of Balon.
Yeah.
Well, we'll
Yeah.
see if he has another Risen in his hand at the end of the phase.
And Dennis is saying GG. Well, I think he's saying that in the sense that it's going to be hard for him to come back, and he's going to scoop.
Oh no!
Wow.
All right.
No.
That's incredible. Well, I don't know if you saw, but the claim on the Intrigue Challenge was Aaron Damphair.
Yeah. All right.
So that would make it difficult for him to get Balon out of the dead pile. I do wonder what is in his hand right now. Apparently it's not anything he thinks is going to help.
Okay.
Dennis is saying there's nothing he thinks he can do to come back from that. So.
I mean, particularly the pull of Damphair was going to make it really difficult for him to come back.
And now that Aaron has Tywin on the board, that +2 gold, plus the gold from Tyrion and the Rose Road is going to mean that he can put down whatever he wants in the coming turns.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Aaron is just in the sort of overwhelmingly positive situation that Lannister can just get into. I mean, with the economic generator of Tywin and his dwarf son, you really... and with Arya as sort of like a punch in the gut, I guess, or particularly triple duped. I mean, he has almost, all the claim soak in the world. I mean, it's going to be just really hard for him to come back. So it looks like Dennis is going to scoop, and I do wish we could have had a longer game for everyone, but Aaron is saying, do you want to do another game for the stream? Well, let's see if Dennis is up for that. And Rob says yes, see, as I'm following. Nope.
Oh,
Dennis has bar
doesn't
plans.
want
Oh, boo.
Oh, typical Dennis.
Okay. All right. Well, I think we will pull Aaron onto the call in a second. I will ask Dennis if he wants to be on. Dennis.
Rob, you're getting told again.
Yeah, Aaron's putting the challenge out if anyone else wants to play.
If anyone listening right now wants to play, I am going to pull Aaron into our Skype call though and ask him about there. Okay. Let's see where he is. Where's the call? Where's the call? I love you, Skype. This is a fun thing to do live. Okay. Call. Oh, here it is. Okay. Now let's add Aaron. Call. All right, I'm calling Aaron to try to get him on here so we can hear how he thought. And Dennis has closed the game, so I will leave this open though, so you guys will have something fun to look at. Why we see if we can get Aaron on.
Hello.
Hey, Aaron.
Hello, Mr. Glazer.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
So how do you think that game went? Obviously, besides victory for you.
I set up 6 cards. He can set up 6. My deck has the advantage anyway. If I'm setting up 6 cards, he's probably losing, unless I have phenomenally bad luck. That I told that Damphair is just, there's not really a comeback. So are you guys interested in another game?
Yeah, I'm up. I have the time. How about Lauren and Rob? Would you guys be up for streaming another game with us?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm good.
Yep.
All right. Alex, it looks like Alex is going to do that. So let me put up this nice little background while we
I'm gonna leave this window and
get everything going. All right. So I'm going to kill the discussion while we get everything set up with Alex, and so we'll be back in like 5 or 10 minutes or so with the second game of Alex Hines of Beyond the Wall versus Aaron Glazer of the White Book. So we will be right back.
Excellent.
Okay.
Hey, Alex, don't freaking Night's Watch me. It's the most boring thing in the world to watch.
Okay. Well, I like Night's Watch, Aaron, particularly Wall. So I know you know that. Do it. Okay.
Hey guys, I think we should start like a celebrity series and have people streaming games like every Monday night or something like that.
That'd be great. I can do that at least on this channel on a pretty regular basis. Particularly if we pick a predictable night, I can do it on a pretty regular basis. But that's probably a discussion that our listeners don't want to hear. So I am going to put some music on, and we'll be right back.
Okay.
Hello, hello.
Hola.
All right, everyone, we are back. All right, so I'm gonna switch us over to the stream. Oh, and it decided that it doesn't like the new thing, so let me make sure that this is all right. And
Oh, looks like it's going to be a Lanny battle.
all right.
We'll have to see which banner rules supreme.
All right, we've got the Skype selection screen to work, or the Octagon selection screen to work, and there we go. There's the game. All right, so we are good to go. Good to go, folks. All right. Okay, so it is Aaron playing the same deck of Lannister to Stark, and Alex is playing Lannister to Tyrell. Okay. So, do you guys think that this is going to be a better matchup for Alex than Dennis was for him, or do you think Alex is going to be in the same amount of trouble?
I don't think. I think Alex will be in a better position. Just, I guess, from the icon spread, you'll have a little more intrigue to prevent those like Tears of Bliss play we saw last round or last game. Sorry, you won't have the straight up, like shutdown of military because they'll have basically more of a spread across all three icons compared to a Greyjoy Fealty deck.
And oh, sorry to interrupt, Lauren. I just wanted to let viewers know, if they can't see it, that Aaron took a mulligan. But go ahead now, Lauren.
Oh, that's okay. No, I was just agreeing with Rob that I think that that the Lanny Tyrell is positioned more strongly against the Lanny Wolves than the Greyjoy deck was. However, I can see that Alex is only setting up 3 cards, so that doesn't bode well for his chances. Although I think he kept his initial hand of 3 cards rather than mulliganing for more. So apparently he liked it pretty well.
I think we now see.
Oh, hold on.
Why though?
The stream. Okay, yeah, the stream went down a little bit. Oh well, yeah, I can definitely see why Alex was willing to keep that. Oh, I think we're having some connectivity issues. Okay, hold on. Will you guys talk a little bit? I am going to talk, I think, to my roommate. Hold on one second.
All right, sounds good. So it looks like Alex does have a good start. I would have those 3 cards. Oh.
Yep, so it looks like they've both selected plots. So they're going to flip in a second. And Alex has flipped summons, and Aaron has started again with Calm over Westeros.
And first player will be decided by Aaron.
Okay.
Not surprisingly, he chooses military for the reduced claim. I think that's a good choice with the non-kneeling Jaime.
All right.
And Aaron also chose to go first there.
I'm back. It looks like the stream is working pretty well. Now, I apologize for any technical issues. My roommate was streaming Netflix, and she very kindly agreed to stop streaming it while we were doing this. So
Hooray!
Everything is back to normal. Okay. Sorry.
Okay, so Alex has used his summons and gotten Tyrion.
All right. That seems to be a pretty good call. Because it looks like Aaron's Intrigue presence is pretty weak. Of course, we don't know what's in their hand, but let me switch over and we'll look at how many cards are in Alex's hand. And it looks like Alex has a ton of cards, and he's pretty well positioned with some solid economy to really sort of burst a little bit out this turn, and particularly with the pressure that Jaime affords him. I think he could be in for a pretty solid first plot.
Yeah, so Aaron made himself first player, and I wonder with a Lanny on Lanny matchup if he has a treachery in his hand and is planning on saving a gold to cancel Alex's King's Road when it comes to that.
And Aaron has his own Jamie
Oh
now.
wow.
So we're having some Jamie on Jamie attitude. You know, in this game there is someone else like him, and it is exactly Jamie Lannister. Apparently we cannot make hands visible according to Alex, which I'm going to put in the chat.
I think we would have to be players in the game, not spectators in the game on Octagon, for them to give us permission to see their hands.
Which we may do in future times. So Alex has played a King's Road, which may, if Aaron saved 1 gold. The question is it still a good play for Aaron to cancel this King's Road? I mean, it certainly would prevent Alex from really spamming the board, but he's not going to get quite the advantage I think he originally wanted.
There it is.
Yeah.
I just look at it sometimes when I'm in this situation is I look at the event sitting in my hand and I got to think of what effects my opponent has that I want to cancel later in the game, and is me shutting down 3 gold turn 1, is that more important than that effect later in the game? And in this case, Aaron chose the early choke, quote unquote.
Yeah, so you can see here now, Alex only has 3 characters, so if he was to lose a military challenge, he's going to wind up with just Jamie. Oh, okay, he's got 1 more out, so that's good. Because if he hadn't gotten that 4th character out, he would be really susceptible to a devastating march next turn.
Yep.
But he's still looking a bit weak compared to Aaron, in my opinion.
Oh, that's absolutely true. And remember, according to Alex's own mouth, right over here is one of the worst cards in the core set. So, you know, he's probably quite upset that he had to play that card.
I don't think he was quite as insistent about it as Wama was when the reviews were done on Tyrell, but he definitely didn't agree that it was a good card when we did the Tyrell review.
Well, okay, so Aaron is coming in for a high-strength military challenge. Aaron does not have the gold to put anybody to the sword, so it looks like Alex can pretty safely eat this, even if it will put him behind. More behind than he would like.
Yep, and so Aaron's just said no reaction, so he was just going towards the mill. He probably just wanted to make sure that he could win, even if Alex blocked, for example, with both Jamie and Wright. Interesting that he chose to kill Wright for claim there. I guess he wants to keep his economy on the board.
Right, because right now they are at economic parity, with both have a reducer chud, neither have any economy locations. So as long, and Aaron, isn't too far ahead in character count. So if Alex is able to see a little bit more economy next turn, he might be able to catch up.
Yeah, I just find that, as soon as I kill either left or right, either the other one or the second copy of them pops up immediately in my deck. So
that's the way it works. That's the way it always works.
Yeah, Tywin dies, and then you draw both Tywin dupes in your next hand.
Yep.
Okay, so Jamie just is coming in for an intrigue challenge, and Alex gets the 2 gold from Tyrion's reaction. And let's see.
The other thing too is Alex playing any of the ambush stuff, because that might make a difference too in the character count and overall board position.
That's true. A timely ambush character could help Alex a lot here. Although the Hound does make pushing through a military challenge a little bit more difficult. Excuse me. Okay. So, Alex let that through unopposed, putting Aaron up to 2 power. And now I believe it is Alex's challenges phase.
And he discarded a Burnman for claim, so there's the answer to whether he's playing the ambushing characters or not.
I think Alex is probably a little bit annoyed that that Birdman got discarded. All right, so Alex just went for a intrigue challenge, netting him 4 gold. He could play his own hound now.
Yeah, that's what I think he's doing here, because he did not go for military first with Jamie, which you'll usually do to try to bait the hound in so it bounces back to hand, to then maybe catch him for claim with intrigue.
Oh, well, also, there we go. Oh, that's really nice. I don't think.
Wow.
Well, I mean, he's got Bran canceled that event, but that just puts them at a stronger board parity next turn. And in fact, Alex's characters, if the hound bounces back to hand, are going to end up being stronger on the board than Aaron's, which may stop Aaron from marching him next turn.
And it looks like Alex did not have a treachery of his own there to cancel Bran.
So Alex gets his unopposed challenge, putting some power on the board for Alex. Now the question is Alex going to do the military challenge here to bounce to try and see if Aaron wants to bounce the hound? Because either way, Alex is going to win dominance. So the question is the hound better for Alex in Aaron's hand or on the board? Okay. Again,
I don't
I'll
know
give
if you
everybody a
guys
look
saw
at
that,
hound.
but the intrigue challenge discarded Aaron's own Tyrion from his hand. So I
Oof.
think
That's pretty
wow.
nice.
No, I didn't catch
that's
that.
a bad hit for him.
Oh, wow.
That is pretty bad. All right, so Aaron does defend with the hound.
And basically, seeing that Tyrion discarded, then I would want the hound to go back to hand, because then you know he's not going to be as easily playable ambush-wise going forward.
Absolutely.
It'll force Aaron to pay for him every round, basically, and you won't have to worry about him bouncing back in as easily.
Absolutely. And it also prevents him from seeing both the hound and, say, Tywin right away. So it's just going to sort of slow down Aaron's game plan to the point where Alex may be able to catch up. And it looks like the hound is going back into Aaron's hand. Surprise, surprise. And Alex wins dominance. And so at the end of the first plot, we have 2 power for Alex and 2 power for Aaron. So how do we think that...
3 power for Aaron, actually. On Jamie's got one there.
Oh, Jamie's got one. Excuse me, yes. I wasn't looking down there. I was looking at the house cards. So how do we think that first plot went for both players?
Lauren?
I think Alex came out a little bit ahead on that one. I think he probably disrupted Aaron's plan somewhat. I think Aaron expected to finish this round a little bit better than he did.
Yeah, I expected Aaron to look a lot better right now than he does. And right now, looking at the board, it looks like Alex is kind of board-wise, character quality-wise, is ahead.
All right.
Yeah.
Behind one on power.
So we have a Calm Over Westeros from Alex, and we'll see what type of claim he chooses. And Aaron has chosen Noble Cause. All right, let's take the bets. Does Aaron have Tywin in his hand?
So he'd only be able to play Tywin, which I feel like is a little risky, and would also put him at having to discard for reserve if he didn't lose an intrigue challenge.
I think maybe Aaron might be willing in this situation to eat an intrigue challenge, but of course we'll have to see what he does. Okay, so
it's going to be Eddard.
It's good. It's going to be Eddard. Okay. All right. So, what did Alex name a challenge type? I don't think so.
Oh, he's
You
got the
highlighted
red
it in
highlight.
red there.
Oh, the red highlight. Okay, so it's military. Okay, fancy octagon-ness. Okay. All right. So Eddard Stark is right now in the game the only non-loyal 7-coster, and he stands after any challenge is initiated against you, which can be incredibly useful.
Yeah, and he puts a nice beefy power icon on the board for Aaron right now. He's only got 1 gold to work with, so he's not going to be ambushing anyone in, but it means it's a lot easier for him to defend any power challenges from Alex's side of the board.
And Alex was unable to put a intrigue icon through the attachment, whose name is escaping me. A little bird, there we go, on Eddard. So Eddard is vulnerable if Alex sees another Tears from the Hand, or Tears of Bliss, which is sort of the main drawback of Eddard, besides the fact he doesn't have stealth.
And on top of that, I'm looking at the deck list here of Aaron. He does not play Hands of Judgment in this deck, so he won't be able to cancel that Tears either.
Unless he sees another brand, which he
But
won't be
he's
seeing
gonna
this
target
round, yeah.
turn. Yeah.
Alright, so Alex played a Rose Road. He's targeting Tyrion. Ah, for Seal. Oh!
Nice.
Yeah, very nice. So that is going to make Alex's power challenge situation a lot better than it was initially, which I think he's probably quite happy about. Because I found, at least when I'm playing Lannister, that the power icon tends to be the most troublesome, because your power icons are placed somewhat awkwardly. Like, for example, Tyrion is a really important one, but do you want to use Tyrion on a power challenge when he's really excellent for pushing those intrigue challenges against houses that don't have... There's not a lot of stealth on the intrigue icon right now.
Right. Cersei's another example where, you know, she's got the power icon, but you usually want to use her in the challenge. Yeah.
All right.
Also, I find with Tywin, you'll end up using him to handle some of the bigger military characters out there.
Right.
So you don't usually use them for power till later in the game.
Yeah. So Aaron just jumped to 6 power from the renown from his 2 characters, Jaime and Eddard. And of course, it is quite obvious it is not very thematic for Eddard and Jaime to be working together. But, you know, it is a game first. So Alex has to suffer no claim thanks to Calm. And Aaron does not have the gold to put anyone to the sword. So it looks like this is sort of just a power claim challenge for Aaron.
An intrigue with Jaime from Aaron here.
Yes. And Alex gets his gold if he chooses to claim it.
There it is.
I like
So
how...
I have to say, I find it odd that Aaron put Eddard into that military challenge. I wonder if he forgot what Alex had picked for Calm over Westeros, because now he's not going to be able to make a power challenge.
Yeah, I think he's probably regretting that a great deal. Because there's no way for Alex to win that power challenge on the board unless he ambushed something in, that military challenge on the board, unless he ambushed something in.
Yeah, I think that was either a mistake or maybe something that he probably thought better of afterwards.
Yeah, I think he regretted it, because I do think since Alex just highlighted rather than said what the claim was, Aaron was probably a little flustered.
Yeah, and Aaron did ask claim, like basically claim question mark, and didn't realize that there was no claim. So.
And Alex just lost the Things I Do for Love, which hurts.
Especially with a Tyrion on the board, you can start getting rid of characters left and right.
Oh yes, and put the sort of military pressure on Aaron, because one of the best tricks that you can do with that card is sort of bounce cheap claim soak and force your opponent to choose powerful, impactful characters for claim when they originally thought that they were safe.
Yeah, and I like thinking ahead even further. It helps the march next turn sometimes too. So even if they have 2 claim soak guys out, quote unquote, you can bounce one and they have to kill the other, and then it just whittles that board down to make the next turn hurt just that much more with March to the Wall.
Absolutely. And so Alex just stood his Tyrion with the Seal of the Hand, which I'll highlight for our audience right here, which is a very powerful attachment that people initially, when the core set launched, were, I think, skeptical of, particularly first edition players, because it's a 3-cost attachment. But I think it's shown, as the game has sort of played out now, that we sort of are in the competitive season, to just be a really, really strong card.
Yeah, well, I think, I didn't think of this, but I saw someone post on the board a while ago. Would you pay 3 gold to have 2 Tyrions? Or
Yes,
2 Tywins? Or 2 Bobs? Of course you would.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it is a much better deal than it seemed like at first to a lot of 1-0 players, and it almost never leaves the board unless people really have an abundance of attachment control.
Yeah, I found that at the Kingslayer tournament at Gen Con. That's when the light went on for me when I was using the Red Viper, and I would use them like on defense, then offense, and be shutting down my opponent and winning challenges on offense with a guy I spent $7 on. Originally, as a first edition player, you're thinking, why am I spending $7 on this character? You better be that good. But then when you just put an initial 3, if you think of it that way, you're now, you know, doubling the effectiveness. And I think from first edition we weren't used to having that much of an investment in a single character before, so it kind of makes sense.
Absolutely. And Alex won his Intrigue Challenge and pulled a Reducer Chud from Aaron's hand, and Alex just did a Military Challenge against Aaron, which he defended with Eddard.
Yeah, which he is going to win because he just ambushed in Widow's Wail on Eddard.
Absolutely.
Nice move.
Which makes Eddard a bit of a beast at 7 strength. Particularly if Aaron can find a little bird for him, it's gonna be real difficult for Alex to consistently win Intrigue Challenges, even with Tyrion's stealth.
So I'm just looking at Aaron's deck list though, and I do not see little birds in his attachment list there.
Oh, okay.
It would be an odd pick for a Lannister deck, I think.
Yeah.
That's true. All right, so Eddard is back up for a power challenge.
Now, why?
What
did
is?
he make that power challenge?
What is? So, Lauren, why do you think it was a mistake for Alex to do that?
It was a mistake because Eddard stood and then defended and then got a renown power.
Which
what is this?
Push
Jamie back.
Sending Jamie back the hand. All right.
That's quite nice when Jamie's got 2 power on him.
Oh yeah. And Aaron has no economy.
Aaron's already played 2 of his economy plots. I don't imagine he's got much more than that in the deck. Maybe 1 more.
Rob, does he have Calling the Banners in his plot deck?
Let's check. No, he does not.
Okay.
I see a Game of Thrones, a Noble Cause, Calm over Westeros, Confiscation, Fortified Position, March to the Wall, and Summons.
Well, Fortified has 5 gold, but without any other economy cards, he's not going to be able to play Jamie.
I mean, so do we think we'll probably see Aaron Confiscate here to get rid of that Seal of the Hand off Tyrion? Or will he go for that Fortified Position, which of course does it shuts Jamie off and Tywin or Tyrion off, but also shuts off your Eddard. What do you think Aaron's going to reach for when he goes for his plot deck?
I think he will go Confiscation. I don't think he's got a lot of great choices right now, actually, but I think that out of what he has, it sounds like getting rid of that seal is the best choice.
And I'm very impressed by Alex bouncing Jamie. I mean, that is a big tempo swing in his favor. I mean, Aaron was pretty dominating in the power, 8-4, but now it's only down to 6-4 because Alex was able to win dominance and push 2 power off of Jamie by returning him to Aaron's hand. Very good play.
That was a smart play.
One wonders why he's a world champion then. You can see it.
It's tough to get that 6 gold together to make that play in the first place. Oh, and he does play the Confiscation.
He does into Alex's Counting Coppers. So both are looking to refresh their hand in Alex's place and sort of control the board a little bit in Aaron's case. All right, but I would say that Alex's character quality is a lot better than Aaron's right now. I mean, Jamie and Tyrion is a sort of a beast to sort of catch up with, particularly if you don't have any economy like Aaron has. And he's only got 4 gold to play with, 5 if you include the Reducer.
Oh, true.
Which is his out-of-house Reducer, so it's possible that he may not be drawing enough start cards to make use of it.
Absolutely. I mean, that's sort of one of the strengths of a banner house is the improved setup of being able to include 3 other, 1-cost characters. But those 1-cost characters can be kind of awkward if you're only going for 12 total Stark cards, or 12 total Lannister cards, or 12 total Targaryen cards. I found them to be sometimes a bit of a liability after setup. Bran, but it was useful to Aaron here to be able to get Bran and protect Eddard from any. Okay, there we go. The seal on Eddard, so that will allow Aaron to use Eddard on both attack and defense multiple times. That's excellent. That may allow Aaron to stabilize.
And it looks like Aaron's deck is playing, if I'm counting right here, 13 or 14 Stark characters alone.
Oh, okay, so it's a very heavy on the Stark.
Yep.
Okay. Alright. So Jamie's just been duped by Alex. So what do you think Alex is going to be looking to do here, Lauren? What do you think sort of Alex's goal is going to be now that he's sort of seen that Aaron was able to change the board state, but not like really push things too much in his favor?
Well, I think he needs to speed up his power grab. So if he's got any of the Tyrell characters that have renown, now would definitely be the time to play them. But it looks like he's done marshalling for the turn, so this is going to be it.
Yeah. The 2 gold for counting coppers just looks like it was a bit of a liability this turn for Alex.
He may need to get the challenge phase gold from Tyrion and then ambush in a character like Olenna's Informant or a Burned Men.
Alright, so Alex lost the military challenge to Eddard, who claimed a power, and Alex claimed his Tyrell reducer.
Well, looks like power challenge with Eddard. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm wondering, is Alex going to defend here with his Chud?
I think he should.
Yeah.
I think that
I would.
Aaron's getting too much power too quickly, and he doesn't need that character to make a challenge since he can make 2 with Jaime and 1 with Tyrion.
All right. So that's a power challenge in Alex's favor, and I believe Aaron has only the intrigue challenge left, and he has that lone little tickler there. And I think an intrigue challenge here is probably a good idea to sort of possibly get a card out of Alex's hand, and to sort of, if he wants to defend, he's going to have to kneel impactful characters, particularly since Tyrion doesn't have his seal anymore. But he looks like he passed. All right.
Yeah, you also have to think, do you want to give Tyrion another trigger on his gold generation also?
That's true. I guess he could be afraid of the Hound at 4 gold.
Whew, so it looks like Aaron's gone all in on the defense, probably worrying about some sort of strength bump on Jaime, so he's defending for 9 strength here. And he's going to get another renown, so he's up to 11 power.
Alright. So we've got an intrigue challenge with Jaime. Okay, so it looks like Alex wants to win that power challenge with Tyrion stealthing Eddard. Oh, and Aaron just lost the Hound. Oof.
Oh,
that hurts.
Tears
And he Tears of List. Ooh.
Oh, no.
Ooh. And Bran, and he had the treachery. Oh, wow. That is a huge swing.
Right there.
Oh, wow. All right. And Aaron is cursing John for some reason. And Aaron is scooping. No. All right. And Darknodge is saying that he chose to give Aaron advice to play fun, not smart. Okay. And Aaron wants to play another game, but Alex has to go. So why don't we see if Aaron will bring us back on? Let me see. John, do you want to talk to us? I'll ask them. And so, what did you guys think of that game? I think it was a pretty good back and forth.
Yeah, it was a fun game to watch.
Yeah, there's some crazy plays for sure. Stuff we didn't see coming, and
I think
Alex had the tricks. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, I think Alex played that really, really well. All right, let's see. It looks like John and all right. We'll add Aaron, and we'll add John. It's Dark Nudge. All right. I'm calling both of them. We'll see if they want to join us to talk a little bit about some of the maybe troublesome choices that they found.
Oh,
I'll add Alex too, since Alex says he wants to be on here too. All right. All right.
John decided we had to make the fun move, not the smart move.
That is correct, actually. We specifically talked about what would be funner, and the Super Voltron was way funner than the smart move. So we decided to Voltron it up against Alex, since it wasn't a tournament game.
All right. So, what was the smart move? What was in your hand? Since octgn doesn't want to show us your hand.
Wouldn't have won the game or anything, but it gave us a chance going forward if you did have that tiers. It would have just been playing the Tumblestone and the Steward of the Rock. Which
it would have been a bunch of weenies. We would have played 3 weenies instead of the hand.
It would have been, since it only has 4 power, it would have then been attempting to stall him out while we reestablish board presence.
Alex, are you there?
I am indeed, yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, there were a couple of ways that could have played down, but I always had the foot to the sword and the tears to the bliss to put pressure. So even if Eddard hadn't hit the board, then I would have been able to clear put to the swords.
We chose not to save gold because we're not playing smart. Are you still in the room? Do you see that?
Yeah, I still see that. I see the put to the sword that you had.
We it was specifically just whatever was the most fun at that point, which is fine. This deck probably is never going to really beat Alex's deck. Alex's deck is checked for the optimized for the regular meta, while my deck is very, very specifically super great on optimized.
Yeah.
Well,
we
what
had
is that?
a bunch of
What is
plots
that
that were
meant
not
for you?
useful.
How did you
Just
optimize it for
stuff.
Greyjoy?
Oh, sorry. There is a video that's up on our YouTube channel. As soon as John makes it public, you can make it public now, I guess, about the changes we made. These 2 plots specifically are fairly useless against you, but they're really good against Greyjoy. Are you still in the room? Can you see? Should I say?
Yeah, I can still see them.
Game of Thrones is completely dead in this matchup, and Fortified is in case Valon becomes a problem.
Fortified isn't dead weight here.
Fortified's
no,
never
yeah.
dead weight, but
If we played smart, it would have been part of our stall strategy, right?
Yeah.
Right. When we were watching your game, we definitely called Fortified once Rob went through your deck list as one of the possible plots that you could flip instead of Confiscation on that, I think, second to last turn.
yeah, we discussed it. We just thought it would be way more fun to make a super Eddard. Voltron Eddard, actually. We were discussing which of the lions he would be. If anyone's watched Voltron, they can chime in here.
The crazy part, though, is you still got up to 11 power, and if that Jamie bounce play didn't happen, he had power on him also, so you keep saying stall out, but you're the one that needed to be stalled out really there for a bit, and I think you guys were putting the pressure on Alex pretty good, but he had the tricks to shut you down.
Well, I wasn't too worried about the power total once Jamie had left the board.
Yeah, true.
Because, like I said, I had 2 removal tools in hand and a Widow's Wail to push through an offensive military, followed by a marched if necessary. So I didn't even have to kill the big characters for it if I just lured the cancel out of Bran without a treachery. But I mean, I was happy to see the treachery on the counting coppers, certainly.
So you had 2 tiers up to that point, and you drew into the treachery, or did you?
I had the first tiers on turn 1, and I drew the second tiers on turn 2.
Okay. So
which I got to play on turn 3, which was the right time to play it, obviously.
And removal is king, right? Removal is king. This is not
Removal is big, yeah.
not like a giant secret.
Yeah. When your characters are big and they cost you a lot and you put a lot into them, it hurts even harder when you can just pop them away for $2.
I do want to say that Eddard is severely underrated by the general meta.
Oh, I was sincerely hoping to catch Eddard in a military where you were counting on the Tickler and then being able to bounce him and then following it up with the March play. But the fact that you had the Widow's Wail there actually really messed up that turn and completely changed the fact that I should have then bounced Jamie before doing the entry challenge for the chance of pulling him. But I was really convinced that I was going to get that military challenge and had to bounce the Tickler to make it work.
Okay, so that makes sense. If we were wondering while we were watching the game why you chose to bounce Jamie at that specific time, but now since we couldn't see your hand, it makes it difficult for us to be able to call that.
I do for a while. Those 2 tiers, 2 things I do for love, 2 cuts of the sword,
Correct.
and Tyrion. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, I had all the removal tools. I had no characters basically on turn 1, so I had the summons. Should have given you a clue. It probably did give you a clue.
It did.
Me opening summons means I have no characters. I mean that's pretty much what it has to mean.
The generalist version of this deck runs 2 Bran and 2 Hands Judgment.
Are you not running any Hands Judgment? I was convinced you were. I hadn't seen your list.
No, he's not.
No, not in this one yet. I love the Hands Judgment. I mean, I think it's such an underrated card that people aren't playing enough of. So many of these cards, like you were saying earlier, Rob, swing the match on 1 or 2 gold.
Yeah.
Hands Judgment can do big work, especially in Lannister where you have the gold to pay for it.
Yep. Yeah, I found myself putting at least 1 Hands of Judgment in every deck. It's never bad to have in hand right now.
It just, for the Greyjoy match, there were so many ways to slow them. Like, I actually wasn't scared of the location that's named as the Seastone Chair, because I always forget its name before I say it. But I wasn't actually scared of the Seastone Chair, so I felt like I didn't really need it.
Yeah, because you have Arya then with the stealth, and you had the Hound that could bounce in after the fact and whatnot to stop
And
you unopposed, right?
well, 7 attachments, 2 milks.
The attachments too, yeah.
There were lots of different ways to specifically, like I could play either of the 2 plots added to stop it. Any of the 7 attachments would stop it for a turn.
Was treachery worst case?
Yeah, there's so many options. I felt like I didn't need Hand Judgment, and that was the only thing I thought he would really be Hand Judging on. That would be a problem.
All right, so Alex, would you say that this is normally a plus matchup for you, even if Aaron's deck was sort of teched in a not Greyjoy heavy way? Do you think sort of your deck stands up well against sort of Lannister into Stark, or was this, do you think, a bit more of the sort of 2.0 variants?
I think Lanny Rose is a stronger deck, and I think Aaron would agree. It has more tools to put pressure on, independently of the removal. It just has a little bit more renown in there. It has the stealth so that it can launch the second challenge through Eddard in Tyrion, which I think is important enough. So overall, I would favor this deck. I think it's a little bit faster and puts a little bit more pressure.
It's probably the strongest Lannister banner deck, right?
Yeah.
At the moment.
Wolf is second, and then I go back and forth about what third is.
And would you agree with my reasoning as for why?
100%, yeah. I mean, I've been saying it forever that Lanny Rose is best than Lanny Wolf. The only thing I like about Lanny Wolf more, and it's not even Bran, because...
I thought it was Bran, yeah.
No, it's Sansa.
No, I only
Sansa's
wrote
the
one
best.
thing. I only wrote one thing. It's Arya. Like, Arya wins games. And not even on military, just on power.
I mean, cheap stealth is so good.
The cheap stealth and the cheap power icon helps Lannister's sort of power icon issues that we were discussing why we both during the Greyjoy game and the game against Alex. That sort of Lannister's power icons are sort of spread on characters that you'd rather not use in power challenges. So being able to have Arya there to stealth through key defenders is really clutch.
All right, well, I have dogs that are begging for a walk and a bed that is calling to me, but thanks for the match then, as a follow-up to the rather abrupt match that we saw in the first round there.
Another fairly abrupt match. This one went 3 plots instead of 2.
Yeah, sadly the Voltron didn't take you down, Alex. It would have been so glorious.
Yeah, it's 3 plots, and you guys took longer making 2 people's decisions.
It was good back and forth though. It was a fun game to watch. A little bit, much more fun than watching poor Dennis get stomped to the ground.
Now, are you still in the group, Roy?
Which group?
Are you still in the Octagon game?
Oh no. Yes, I am still in the Octagon game. Yes.
So if I show visibility to everybody, can you see my hand now?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay,
yes, I can see your hand.
That obviously shows it to my opponent as well, which there is no option to say view visibility spectators or any of you specifically. So if we do this again, I think it would make sense to have you, one of you, join the game, whoever is streaming it, so that we can specifically give visibility to that person.
That makes sense. That's probably what we'll do. All right. Well, Alex, I want to thank you for joining us, and good luck to your dogs and their bladder. Yeah, it was a really good game. Good, well played.
All right. Well, thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Alex.
Alex.
Yeah.
All right. Any thoughts? Any more thoughts, Aaron and John?
Yeah, the funniest possible outcome of my Octagon tournament game, especially given that Lauren is commenting, is that now Dennis and I don't post the result.
What? No, you still have to. Seriously.
We don't know who won.
Both lost.
No one knows who won. You give us both losses now. Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. I mean, I think the second game was a little bit more fun just because me and Aaron were goofing off a bit, but it was good.
The second was definitely more fun, but the first game was more satisfying because I apparently can't beat Dennis.
We can't beat Dennis in real life, but you definitely beat him there.
It's in real life plenty of times too.
So
The only person you can't beat in real life is me.
I mean, no, I beat you in real life. I've only played you in 2 tournaments, and they're both bullshit. But whatever. The only person I can't beat that I
I love how he dismisses that. I lost because of bullshit.
once was when we were both like 2 and 3 outside the cut, and we just played a goof off to it. So whatever. And the second time I was hammered. So
And I mean, I'd like to plead the fifth on that as well.
So I cannot beat Florian Max to save my life, and I've never beaten Alvaro. Those are the only 2 people I've played like any significant amount that I can.
That's understandable.
well, those are good people to have trouble defeating Aaron. So
Yeah.
I have beat Florian. I just like every 6 games I get 1, and I feel really special.
well, before we let John and Aaron go, Lauren or Rob, do you have any questions for them about either game?
I just have one question. I'm not a crazy good deck builder by any means, but just looking and seeing in your deck, Aaron, that you have 2 Eddard and 3 Tywin. I'm always iffy about putting in, more than 1 7-coster. Why do you do it, and why did you feel okay doing it?
If I have Tywin, I can afford the gold. If I don't see Tywin, I badly need the extra renown. Otherwise, this deck just takes like ages and ages to close.
That's one of the issues with Lannister in general, right? That they're actually slower than a lot of people think.
Yeah.
And if you can pull them out and they don't see that extra economy, you can do well against them.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why they banner so well to the Rose. Gives them that extra push with the renown.
And Eddard is, he's honestly a poor man's Randall. So,
That's true,
like,
actually.
That's what he's doing.
He's a rich man's Randall.
It's true.
Yeah. You don't have to put other cards and effects into him, right? He just does it himself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Stand.
I don't know why, because he's technically every bit as vulnerable as Randall, but I feel so much safer with Randall.
I got a couple questions for you
He's
guys.
cheaper, Aaron. That might be a big reason. Oh.
So Rob, when is the next live stream we're gonna see? What tournament are you going to next?
The next live stream is our usual Wednesday at 6 p.m. from Hobby Kingdom. The next tournament, I'm looking at Store Champs season. I'm trying to put them together in a chart to decide where we're traveling and who I'm bringing, that kind of thing. But so far, I think the closest one is February 6th. I forget which location it's at, but I think that'll be the first tournament. But we do have a tournament at the end of the month at Hobby Kingdom on our usual Wednesday night stream. We do one a month there on the last week of the month. So,
And Lauren, I
we
heard
have.
that Boston is doing something on Valentine's Day. What?
It's not on Valentine's Day. Our store championship is on February 13th, which is not
Oh.
Valentine's Day. The
It's
day
the-
before Valentine's Day.
It's amazing how many days are not Valentine's Day.
Like, a lot of them, including
Yeah.
the one that our store championship is
364 of the days are not Valentine's Day.
Well,
Well, this year
let Lloyd do
365.
Yeah,
So,
it's a
here's the
it's
thing.
300
Valentine's Day is a stupid holiday, and you should come to our store championship and not worry about it.
I would agree if my wife were not 8 months pregnant.
They see how that's
There it is.
I was gonna say it'd be a shocker to have a tournament on Valentine's Day. I'd have a feeling any of the guys that have significant others at home might not be allowed to show up, so it'd be a pretty small tournament.
Unless that was the gift, right? You're taking your significant to the
Oh.
first tournament. How else
Oh,
can you
yeah.
show love?
I am bringing my girlfriend with me to Boston for that weekend for that store championship. So,
That's cool.
Right, you've got your priorities in the right place.
So,
I like it, buddy.
we're going together. It's a group trip. So,
Hey, Roy, in addition to stream,
Romantic.
Roy, do you have this recorded by any chance?
we're literally live streaming all of this. So,
You also have it recorded.
Yes, I have it recorded. I can send you and John the link to the whole. I can put it on Dropbox, and you guys can just have the raw video file.
Yeah, please send that to John.
Of course.
Thanks.
I love how he said send it to John. Get John to do it.
Well, I don't do anything.
I'm sorry, John.
It's all good.
And this whole stream will also be saved in the past broadcasts on this channel, so people can also just watch the raw sort of video feed with all of its issues that it had, the slight issues. And again, I apologize to everyone for the slight sort of hiccups that we had. But this is the first time we're doing this. I hope you've enjoyed, and I think everybody would be up for doing this again, right?
Yeah, I'm down.
Lauren?
Definitely.
So we're officially announcing at least some Mondays you will check all the regular channels. Monday night.
Some Mondays.
Some
Monday
Mondays.
Night Thrones!
Yes, Monday Night Thrones. That'd be a lot of fun.
Well, I think we're gonna have to run an actual tournament and commentate on the tournament.
Ooh.
A little while, like a little 16 or 32-man tournament.
I'd like it being fun. I think we just get whatever players everyone knows. I don't know. Why don't the listeners or viewers, I guess. Like, I just not saying listeners.
Yeah. Well, I know the Beyond the Wall is on vacation right now, but this could be a great topic to talk about on the White Book this week because
Well, we'll let commenters vote and decide whether they want to see a tournament, whether they just want to see random good players. It's gonna be hard to get a bunch of people together on a Monday night. I feel like we kind of squeeze deep, but I don't know. I think it's better to just be like, hey, who's free? Cool. Everyone knows us. Let's play. By the way, Thrones is the single worst form of celebrity ever. There's you're like a celebrity in a group of 600 people. It's so
44 according right now.
Well, just all 44 people. You guys are all awesome. Unlike Aaron, who had technical difficulties and screwed up my recording of the graduate match.
It's okay. Roy's gonna see you, and we're still gonna post it on the YouTube channel.
I saw we did get up to about. I think at one point I looked over and it was 61 viewers in the first game, so that's not a bad turnout.
Nice.
Particularly for the first time. So does chat over here, before I let everyone go, have any questions for John and Aaron? I am now 100% looking. If anyone has any questions, throw them in chat real quick. And then otherwise, if I don't see anything in a couple of minutes, I'll let everybody go. So, John, can you spoil when are you and Alex coming back? Do you guys know yet?
Yep. February.
Okay.
1st.
All right. February 1st. You heard it here first.
So that means you might see the actual podcast going up on the week after that. But
So, in addition, Roy, what New York things do you have to announce? Because you always have New York things.
We have a store championship in February, which is after, it's February 20th, so it's after Boston's tournament. And that's at the Uncommons, which is our store, our little sort of game store in the village. And then in March 12th, we have the bigger store championship at the Complete Strategist. And you can find all of that information on Facebook. And there's also a Card Game DB thread for the Uncommon Store Championship. I haven't made a strat one yet, I don't think. I'll have to check.
Yeah, we're also going up to Manchester, Connecticut, January 30th. I hear some Boston folks might be there.
Yes, I think a bunch of us are planning to go down. Connecticut is a nice midway point for the Boston and New York metas to meet and wreak havoc on the unsuspecting locals.
Yeah. Hey, remember the tournament from hell last year?
I remember it. I still have PTSD from it.
Wait, you mean the one where Britt and I were first and second, and we took the prizes home and played the final at our house?
No, that was the one where Dave, Kyle, and I almost died. No.
eat that, New York.
The other one, no, he's thinking about the one that was, because Aaron wasn't at that one. It was just Dave Vapid, and Kyle and myself. No, it's the one that gave store credit. Do you remember, Lauren?
They gave us hundreds of dollars in store credit.
Yes, it was a great store.
As far as I know, the only person who's ever won cash playing for us.
Yeah, they're sadly not giving out as much money.
I hate to tell you, Aaron.
They should.
We did, some last longer bets at Gen Con. It's still legal to bet on Thrones, so I shouldn't be disqualified for this. And I think Kaiser took home a pretty, or maybe it was Simone. Someone took home a purse.
How much? I think I ended up
$100 bucks.
I think I ended up taking home like $250.
Oh yeah, maybe you are the highest cash prize player then.
Like, I played that tournament so hard. I was like, actual money? Yeah, the field was ridiculous. That was me, Stroms, Roy, Kyle, Jane, the Fitches, and,
Tally.
Ollie.
Yeah,
And then
thanks
Two
for
locals.
And then 2 poor locals.
They did pretty well. The person who finished in last place is me, so, which is typically what happens. Okay, so there's a quick logistical question happening in chat. So, sort of I guess you could say an octagon etiquette question. Is it okay to remind people that you are spectating of when they miss key rules things? For example, when Dennis or it looked like Aaron was missing reserve, and we chimed up.
If you know, I wasn't missing reserve, by the way.
We all know
told
we.
like 8 times.
Yeah, I do. I keep track for literally the entire base. It affects how much I value intrigue and all sorts of things. But if you know the people and it's a casual game, say what you want. No one cares. In a tournament game, generally speaking, though.
Yeah, and just from my side, like I know I'm totally wrong. I'm not defending myself in any way. I just pictured from the viewer's point of view, round 1, someone missing reserve like that in like kind of important game, and it is like it's not a missed trigger. It's actually like a framework action kind of game effect, whatever. But just seeing that happen round 1, I just worried the viewers might kind of start getting crazy that it was missed and yelling and thinking the game's like null and void after the first round at that point. And so that's the only reason I did it, was I was like wanted to make sure it was good for the viewers, that like important things like that weren't missed. But
I might actually post the YouTube channel only to show that Aaron was discussing which card he was going to discard from reserve.
And I jumped into the other thing. Dennis, it popped up in the bottom saying he was looking at plot decks. So in my mind, I thought he forgot about it and it was going to be missed. And then you guys caught it. Like just as I was typing it, you guys pretty much noticed it, and I was like, crap. Shouldn't have.
So I think what I would recommend, if you came across something like that again in the future, is I think you probably just didn't wait long enough for them to, like, they hadn't passed the opportunity to discard to reserve.
I mean, and I did stand my cards, right? So like it looked like I was ready for the next round.
Yeah,
understand it.
Yeah, no worries. No, my bad. I was a little nervous too. I'm not used to Octagon in general. I've played about 2 games of Game of Thrones and Octagon, so I feel like.
Well, Octagon's
a live player.
Yeah.
Well, I prefer playing live too, Rob. So don't worry about it.
So I think most people would expect it to go similar to an in-person tournament, which is that in general, spectators should not comment on games or point out any rules mistakes. You can go talk to a TO if you feel like it's really egregious, like missing reserve or something like that. But in general, you should never interrupt someone else's game to say, like, hey, you guys did this thing wrong.
Yeah, and usually I do that in person. In person is not even a question. It's just, yeah, definitely. I don't even tell the TO. You just kind of pretend you're not there, in my opinion. Just stay quiet is what you should be.
I mean, I did mess something up at Gen Con once. I asked Nate, who was judging John's finals match at Gen Con. I supposedly said, hey, this is past, so I'm not asking you to change anything. In the future, how is this ruled? And he went right over and changed it.
Oh, no.
And like, people, like, gave me looks, and one guy was like, that wasn't cool. I was like, dude, I asked if it, like, I wanted to know, and I knew I wasn't going to remember because it was, like, 1 in the morning.
Yeah, and you have to remember Nate's a walking zombie at that point, and his eyes are, like, bleeding and stuff. So he probably didn't even hear half the words you said.
Yeah, he was like, this thing, fix. Like, I felt absolutely terrible. I was like, I'm so sorry.
In case listeners are wondering why that's the way that the rule is, it's because people are not judging every single game and every single turn, so it's not fair to people to have an outside spectator pointing out, one particular instance of something happening when it could be happening at tables all across the tournament. And I think that's the general justification. I will say that when I TO tournaments, I observe the final game. I sit there and watch the entire final game. And I'm not going to point out anyone's missed triggers, but if it's something like reserve or something like that, I will point it out, and that's because I'm there watching the entire game. So there's no inconsistency in judging, and it's also the final, so it's important that things like reserve are not missed and that the game is played correctly.
And that people aren't drawing 3 cards during the draw phase, the system.
Yeah, exactly.
Shromes told
I just wanted to mention
about Insight, and I almost flipped on him. Like, I literally started yelling and had to calm myself down before I lost the game through anger.
Oh, you're talking about on the... That happened on stream at Red Saturday.
I was really pissed. Like, if I lost that game, like, Dave and I would have been in an argument.
All right.
I just wanted to clarify something that might have sounded different, because people were saying, like, me and Aaron when we were playing against Dennis. I wasn't involved in any of the thoughts for Aaron on Dennis. I was just commenting on what he did after he did it.
Yeah, we
just
should
to make
put it
things clear.
We should put up with
I'm going to
this.
put it up even with the technical difficulties, just so people can see it.
We didn't have enough technical. Like, even if we wanted to collude, we had so many technical difficulties we couldn't.
Okay, so remember, technical difficulties prevent collusion. All right, so that's an important thing to remember about online play. Okay. All right, so I think that's pretty much going to be it for us for tonight. I need to be kind to my roommate and let her start streaming Jessica Jones again. She was kind enough to stop so that the stream would not go down. So I really appreciate all of you joining us tonight, particularly Lauren and Rob for joining me here to comment on this. And, of course, Dennis, who is not here. He's off at the bar. I hope he's having a good time. And Alex for coming in at the last second when the game did not go as long as we had all hoped. And, of course, Aaron and John for playing.
Exactly as long as I hoped.
Well, as long as you hoped. I said we. I was using the royal we. All right, Aaron. So, and I also hope, I hope I have hopes for the next opponent for Aaron in the Octagon tournament. How many more rounds, Lauren, is there next after this week?
Till someone's...
Yeah, so it's a triple elimination tournament, and typically it goes about 13 rounds. I would say that the field is looking small at the moment, so I don't think it's going to make it to 13. Currently, we've got, let's see, 16 people with 2 losses this week, so that means that 8 of them will be gone, so we're down to 20 next week. That's a lot of words to say that I think it'll probably go about 5 more rounds. That's where I'm going to estimate it right now.
How many players did you start off with in the tournament?
I think we had about 70 this time.
Oh, wow.
It's not the biggest that we've ever had, but it's pretty decent. Yeah, for the first 2.0 tournament, we had 93 players.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. A lot of them did drop out, though, so I think there was, that initial interest, and then, a lot of new players who were not used to Octagon or used to the game or whatever and just wanted to check it out. So I think now it's a more stable group of people who are going to stick around, which is great.
Yeah, and I find the reason why I don't jump in on the Octagon stuff is usually time commitment. I'm just worried that I won't have the time to play my games every week. And that's maybe what some people, the reason why they didn't jump in the next time is just they probably couldn't find the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's only 1 game per week. I have heard from people that say that they have trouble scheduling the games and things like that. And I guess I'm just surprised that people have difficulties. Because in general, I played in about 3 before I started organizing them, and I play in every one that I've put together. And I don't think I've ever missed a match, actually.
Oh, okay.
So
I think it's because
sometimes
you don't have 4 kids.
I don't have 4 kids. I do have a job. I just, I try to make it work.
Yeah,
Not that I'm blaming anyone who doesn't have the time. I think that it's not as big of a commitment as you might think that it is.
Well, it's just the time zone. The time zone's different sometimes too. That's what I get worried about. Is I'll get an opponent that's completely different time zone. And
the Europeans are
I seem to get unlucky. The games I'm going to play are the ones that's the night my 5-year-old decides to wake up and not sleep, and I feel so bad. It's like, okay, I can't play the game. I'm sorry. Life happened. But then afterwards, I'm frustrated because I took a loss. So then I'm like, okay, I can't do it. It makes me bad.
There was one Octagon tournament where literally all of my losses, and I got to the top 4, were coin flips.
oh wow.
Yeah.
And one game I basically had won when my computer shut down. So he was like, "Can we just flip a coin?" And we flipped a coin. And I was eliminated on that. I was so mad.
Wow.
That was the one before.
Yeah,
the
coin
one
flips are harsh.
The
I've
next
done
one.
those live before.
Yeah, I
Oh.
think people like the Octagon tournament is fun and it's competitive, but I think people need to be more flexible than you would be for an in-person tournament and just
Yeah.
recognize that like there's going to be roadblocks and obstacles that happen, and sometimes you're
Technical
not gonna
issues,
get through
and
as
just
well
suck
as
it
you
up.
want. Yeah, I mean you're playing a computer game. Sometimes with people halfway across the world. So, but a lot of the time it's really fun and it's worth the effort.
Oh, it's totally always fun, and you run them excellently, Lauren. So,
Well, way
props to
better
you
than
for
Dennis did. For sure.
Lauren,
Oh,
you
yeah,
run it
you're
with a
better than
scientific
that.
regularity. Like, it's quite impressive. You see
Oh,
your
look.
background as a scientist in the way you run it.
Well, I like to experiment on you guys by seeing what is going to be fun.
Yeah.
All right, on that
Put the
positive...
results in, Lauren, just so you know.
Yes.
I see that. What did you do to Dennis's row? You're messing it up.
Trying to write L in it, and
Get
some
out of the spreadsheet.
like all I
Okay.
do
You've been
is write
told,
L.
Aaron.
We've descended into spreadsheet issues. So I'm gonna close the stream down. Again, I want to thank you all for watching and for listening, and I hope you enjoyed. Please feel free to leave suggestions in the chat or on Facebook or the Skype group or any other way. And I hope to see everybody next time that we're able to do this. So have a good night and a good week.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night.